again and welcome at the second section of Introduction to Network. And today we will be focused at two topics, including internet connections and reliable networks. All types of users, including home users, remote users, and small office, require a connection to internet service provider to access internet. This connection varies between the internet service provider, which stands for ISP, and geographical location. Even organizations need access to other corporate sites as well as the internet. They need fast connection to support business services as IP phone, video conferencing, and data center. Depending on the kind of users and internet requirement access, we have varied ISP connections. The most popular choices for home and small office connection with the ISP will be cable is one of them, which will be offered by cable television service provider, and the internet data signal will be transmitted on the same cable that delivers cable television. With this kind of connection, we will have high bandwidth, high availability, and always-on connection to the internet. A second choice will be the digital subscribe line, which stands for DSL. And with this, it will be provided and will be run over a telephone line. Same as cable, we will have high bandwidth, high availability, and always-on connection to the internet. But a small network as home and small office network, they use even the asymmetric DSL connection, which stands for ADSL. In this case, the downloading speed will be higher than uploading speed of data to the internet. A cellular internet access is another choice. And in this case, we use a cell phone network to connect with the internet. With this, it means that wherever we can get a cellular signal, we can have even internet access. But the performance is limited by the capabilities of the phone and the cell tower to which it's connected. The satellite is another choice for connection with the ISP, and it has benefits in those areas that we could not have internet connectivity at all. But it has a disadvantage, and the disadvantage is that the satellite dishes require a clean line of sight to the satellite. And the last type of connection with the internet service provider is the dial-up, where we use a phone line and a modem to connect with the internet service provider. And it is the most inexpensive connection, but it will provide us a low bandwidth and availability to transmit internet data to the internet. And this kind of connection, it's more useful for mobile access while traveling. Its organization and business require higher bandwidth, dedicated bandwidth, and managed services, even connection options different depending on the type of service provider located nearby. We have dedicated lease line, which will be reserved circuits within the service provider network that connect geographically separated office for provide voice and data networking. Circuits are rented monthly or yearly, depending on the choice that the organization will make the contract with the service provider. Even Metro Ethernet, which are extended LANs, are a good choice for connection, and they access the LAN technology to the wide area network. The business DSL, which stands for Business Digital Subscribed Line, are available in various formats. Comparing to the home and small office internet connection and the business internet connection, they use not the asymmetric DSL, but the symmetric DSL. And in this case, comparing to the asymmetric DSL, we will have at the same speed level the uploading and downloading data. Even satellite is a good choice in the business internet connection, and we have to focus and mention that they can provide a connection where a wired solution is not available. And in each case, even in home and small office internet connection, even in business internet connection, the choice of connection with the internet service provider depends on the geographical location and if we have a service provider availability nearby and what kind of the service they offer. Just imagine and take in consideration a network built years ago. For example, an organization where offices are cabled for data network, telephone network, and video network. These networks are separated and could not communicate with each other because each network used different technology to carry the common signal. Despite this, each network has its own set of rules and standards to ensure a successful communication. And with this, it's very expensive because multiple services will need multiple networks to run. But in nowadays, this is not a problem anymore because the separated networks are converged together. Converged networks are capable of delivering data, voice, and video between many different types of devices over the same network infrastructure. And this network infrastructure uses the same type of rules, agreement, and implementation standard over the same network that can be carried multiple services. Has it happened to you that when you were working online and fully concentrated, poof, internet went down? It is frustrating, right? Actually, the internet did not go down, but we lost the connection with the internet. For that reason, since so many people in the world rely on the network access to work or study, it is imperative that networks are reliable, meaning that there are more than one connection to the internet. Nowadays, network has changed a lot from data-only network to a system that enables connection of people, devices, and information in a media converged network environment. And for this to work efficiently means that the network must build a standard network architecture. Since networks support a wide range of applications and services, they must operate over many different types of cables and devices. With the network involved, there are 4 basic characteristics for meeting user expectation. And those characteristics are the fault tolerance, scalability, quality of service, and security. We will talk for each of one in the slides that will be next. The fault tolerance refers to the limit of number that affect device during a failure. The main concern and reason that it is built is to allow quick recovery when those failures occur. And in those networks, depending on multiple paths between a source and the destination, we will be sure that the message will be delivered. Because if one path fails, the message is sent over a different link. The fact of having multiple paths to a destination is called redundancy. And as it's shown at the picture, redundant connection will allow the message to be delivered to the destination because they will choose another alternate path if one link will fail. And with this, the experience of the user will be unaffected, which means that users will not understand if a link failed or not, because he will get the information and he will be delivered his information to the internet. A scalable network expands quickly to support new users and applications. Adding is done without degrading the performance of services that are being accessed by existing users. The networks are able to be scalable since the designers follow accepted standards and protocol. And as it's shown at the figure, it is easily to add new users or even network in the existing network without affecting the other users and network that are existing before. In the new networks, new applications available to users over networks such as voice and video transmission create higher expectation for the quality of delivered service, making the quality of service an important requirement of network. As long as data, voice, and video content continue to converge on the same network, the quality of service is the primary mechanism for managing congestion and ensure reliable delivery of content to all users. Congestion occurs when the demand for bandwidth exceeds the amount available. Network bandwidth is measured by number of bits that can be transmitted in a single second. What happens when simultaneous communication attempt across network, meaning the demand for network bandwidth, will be exceeded, creating congestion. When the volume of traffic is higher than can be transported across the network, devices will hold the packets in a memory until resources become available to transmit them. As it's shown at the figure, we have two users that require services. The first users require web page services, and the second user is on the phone call. The quality of service in the router manage the flow of data and voice, giving the priority to the voice communication if the network experiences a congestion. With this, we say that the quality of service has the focus to prioritize time-sensitive traffic, which means that the voice and video are more sensible than the data transmission. And in this case, they have the priority to be proceeded. The network infrastructure, services, and data contained on the network attached device are business assets. A network administrator must address two types as network security concern: the network infrastructure security and the information security. As the network infrastructure security, we have to secure physically devices that provide connectivity and preventing unauthorized access to the management software that resides on them. We need also to protect the information contained within the packets that have been transmitted over the network, and also with information stored on the network attached device. To achieve the goal of the network security, there are three primary requirements that are called as CIA. And those are the data confidentiality, which means that only intended and authorized users can access or read the data. Data integrity, it means that information has not been altered in transmission from source to the destination. By that, it means that the information that was generated by the source is the same even at the destination. And the data availability assures of timely and reliable access to data services for authorized users, which means that we will have always, anytime, anywhere access in our data. And as it's shown in this picture, an administrator needs to access and secure the devices physically and the information that is on them. It means that they will not allow an authorized person to access the devices when they are stored, and even they need to configure the devices with a password so no one can log in and alter the data in those devices. Thank you for being with me in this section, and hopefully we will see together at the next Monday. And please do not forget to subscribe in my YouTube channel AA Networking, and see you soon. Bye.